Hey, it's Dave from the Camera Store. Today we're very excited because we have 3 brand new lenses from Sony to talk about. Sony's been putting out a bunch of lenses recently, but they've been mainly for their full-frame market. If you're a crop sensor user in the Sony lineup, you're kind of going, what's new? I want something. Give me something new. Now that all changes here. We've got 3 brand new lenses for them. We have the 10-20 power zoom lens. That's an F.4 G series lens. We also have an 11mm 1.8 lens, and my personal favorite, the 15mm 1.4 G series lens. We have a lot to talk about with these 3 lenses, so let's get into it. The first lens we're going to talk about is the 10-20 f4 Power Zoom G Series lens. Now, first thing you notice when you pick up this lens is how small and lightweight it really is. I mean, this lens is just over 2 inches long, or about 6 centimeters, comes in at about 6 ounces. It's incredibly lightweight. Now, this bodes very well if you are a vlogger and you want to be holding it out at arm's length, for instance. It's not a whole lot of weight that you have to carry. Or if you're putting it onto a gimbal. Now, what's nice too is that as you zoom in and out with this lens from 10-20, there's very, very little weight shift. Even better if you're using it on a gimbal because of that. Now, it does have a 62mm front filter thread. We also have 2 options when it comes to zooming. We can use the zoom ring or a rocker switch. And because this is a power zoom lens, we are not physically actually zooming the lens in and out ourselves. We are relying on these servo motors to do the heavy lifting for us. So when I'm using the zoom ring here, it is a very intuitive process. I like what I'm getting. It's not any lag and it feels very natural to actually work with. The bonus with that on a vlogging perspective is that I can use the rocker switch, or in the case of the ZV-E10 we're rocking here, we do have a rocker switch by the shutter button that I can use to power zoom as well. Now, if we turn our attentions to the inside of the lens, what kind of quality are we getting out of this? We have a 7-bladed circular aperture. We have 2 ED elements, 3 spherical elements, and 1 ED spherical element. Now, all these are designed to give this lens very good optical performance, including really good control of chromatic aberration. The other thing I like about this, because it's a zoom lens, we often deal with focus breathing. And this lens is focus breathing corrected to a large degree. It's also compatible with the Sony cameras that have the breathing correction built in. Overall, Sony has built a very small, lightweight, very capable camera that vloggers and content creators are going to absolutely love. The next lens we're going to talk about is the 11mm 1.8 lens. Now, it's the only non-G series lens that we're talking about today. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not packed with a ton of features. We still have some ED elements, some spherical elements with this, a 7-bladed circular aperture, and basically the exact same size as that 10-20mm power zoom lens. It's very small, very lightweight. What I'm finding when I'm walking around with this lens is that I love the fact that I have a 1.8 aperture. It allows me a little bit more exposure latitude when I'm shooting, especially in some lower light situations. But something I really appreciate about this lens is its minimum focusing distance. It's only 12 centimeters. So that means with an ultra wide angle lens like this, I can play around some really cool perspectives and be a little extra creative with some foreground subjects. If you want a tiny little lens that you're going to walk around with that's great for some low light photography because of that nice bright aperture, this is something to really take a good look at. Last lens we're going to talk about is my favorite of these 3 lenses. This is the 15mm 1.4 G series lens. Now, what I like about it is it's a nice focal length to work with. Great for shooting environmental portraits, people in their workplace, that kind of stuff. But it's also a very good quality lens. We have the addition of a super ED element in this lens, which is going to give us improved image quality and certainly great edge-to-edge sharpness. Now, we do have the addition of a aperture ring, which I really quite like. We can also declick it or click it. So depending if you're a videographer wanting that sort of smooth action to stop down, or we want to be a photographer and sort of have nice hard clicks, have the option with this lens. The 2 linear motors focus very quickly, and I like the fact that it is a weather resistant lens. This lens does have a 7-bladed circular aperture and a very good minimum focusing distance, though not quite as good as that 11mm. This one comes in at 17 centimeters, which still allows me to get some great close-up shots. Overall, I'm finding this to be my favorite focal length amongst these 3 lenses, and I'm really enjoying the whole experience of shooting with this lens. Overall, I'm really happy with the direction that Sony is taking with the release of these 3 lenses. The reason is that not everybody needs a full-frame camera, and a crop sensor camera can produce some fantastic image quality and certainly give you a great experience, especially when it comes to content creation and vlogging. Now, with these 3 lenses, they really open up a lot of perspective and a lot of different options for you. Do you need a power zoom lens? It's going to be great for that kind of content creation and vlogging where you can remotely zoom it. Or do you want that brighter aperture of the 11mm, or spend a little bit more and get the 15mm lens that's going to give you that even faster aperture and an aperture ring? I'm quite pleased with what I'm seeing out of these lenses here. Now, they are pre-production lenses, so I'm looking forward to getting production copies to really dig into the image quality. But I want to know what you guys think of these 3 lenses. Are they something that appeals to you, something that you can find yourself eager to get your hands on? Let me know in the comments down below. Follow us both on Instagram, and please subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll catch you again real soon. Hey, thanks for sticking around for a preview of these pre-production lenses. If you want to check out more of our recent content, click up here. And if you're Canadian and want to shop local, check out thecamstore.com down here.